What's up, y'all? Today we're going to walk through a framework that you can use as a service-based business owner to grow and scale a profitable and sustainable business that allows you to take home a six-figure CEO paycheck and build wealth and financial and time freedom. So this is the first video podcast episode I am actually sitting down to record in 2025. And I got to tell you, over the last 6 weeks, since I recorded my Q1 planning video, I've got to tell you, I feel like a lot has changed. And if you follow me on Instagram, the day that the Q1 planning video came out, which was in early to mid December, I said basically that day or the day before it came out, I kind of had this epiphany moment where I kind of shifted the plans that I have for 2025. And I'm going to walk you through some of the things I think that you as a business owner need to be considering and thinking about given the climate that we're in, given just what we're seeing in the industries, and just some things that we need to focus on in 2025. I have not had a quote unquote normal full work week since before Christmas. It was sort of like enforced between holidays, school closures, everybody being sick. I know a ton of people have been going through this, plus some shifts and things in my business that I was dealing with that by itself would have been a lot. So it's sort of an unplanned, extended, not full-time off, but I certainly was not able to work full-time. And what I've got to say is that I feel like it really gave me some clarity to really focus in on what it is that works. I don't know if it's just from all this stuff, just the things that have been going on over the last several weeks for me, but I am just over what I'm seeing in online business land. And I've kind of been taking a social media hiatus because I just got so tired of seeing the same old crap, honestly. I'm tired of the gimmicks. I'm tired of the fads. I'm tired of the same old content that we see on social media. I'm kind of over this idea of caring about going viral or having like a ginormous audience, because I really think that what I have honed things down to over the last several weeks, and it is my focus for 2025, is how I'm going to have an impact on my community that I already have, and how I can just like expand that and go deeper and just kind of let go of all of these things that everybody says that you should be doing or you should want out there in the online space. So if you are feeling like you're a little bit over it and you just want to have a more simplified, sustainable, and highly profitable strategy for 2025, then make sure you watch this whole video. What I'm going to walk you through here is what I call in the High Profit Society my Wealthy CEO framework. This is something that I have kind of been putting together. I kind of finalized it last summer. After 6 years in business, I have seen hundreds of businesses' financial statements, both from highly profitable, highly scalable, quickly growing businesses, people who have multi-million-dollar net worths, all the way down to people who are not making money, who are not growing, who are not able to keep cash in their bank account. And I really feel like this framework is great if your goal is to prioritize what I have here, which is profits over revenue. And obviously, you can't have profitability if you don't have revenue. But I think that this focus on sales growth at all costs without a focus on profitability is going to hurt you in the long run. And what I see in a lot of cases with business owners, and I will say I have done this too, it's a mindset that you really have to be aware of. I think a lot of people will, when they're growing their businesses, they keep thinking, I'm just going to reinvest. And I feel like I'm almost there. I'm almost at the place where I'm going to finally be able to capitalize on this hard work that I put into my business and be able to pay myself and be able to build wealth and have money in the bank and investments, right? But that never seems to happen. And it just seems like you're always on the precipice and you just need this one more thing to finally happen for you to be able to truly like build wealth and see the fruits of your labor, right? Instead of having that mindset of constantly waiting for like a few steps down the road, which like never seems to happen, what we want to do is think about how can we put the most money in our pockets now? How can we build a business that is highly profitable, that allows you to pay yourself consistently in the here and the now? Because you will make so much more money in the long run if you prioritize that versus trying to scale up your business for the hopes of one day getting some huge payout, whether that is in the form of selling it or just all of a sudden flipping a light switch and making enough in sales to finally be able to pay yourself, right? So the way that I have this framework split out is we really have 3 phases. The foundation of the Wealthy CEO framework is a highly profitable business strategy. And so really when I talk about a highly profitable business strategy, instead of just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and doing anything and everything that people ask you to do, it's really asking yourself the question of, what is my business here to do? What are we really good at? What are the best results that we can provide to people? What is a scalable business model? Like, what are we here to do and how are we going to do it in the best way that we can, in the most profitable way that we can? So the things I think we want to think about in terms of your high profit business strategy will be offers and pricing. So what you're selling and what your price point is going to be, how you're going to deliver that offer, whether it's done for you, done with you in a group, one-on-one, retainer, whatever that is, what your customer niche or customer avatar is, like who you're selling to, and overall, like what is your business's vision and the goals that you have for your business, and hopefully also tie into your own personal life vision, what I like to call your North Star. I want to encourage you to go and check out my YouTube channel, because when you land on my page, I have just created a free course that is a curated set of videos that I have done over the last year or so that all will speak to different elements of the framework. So in this video, I'm just going to give you the high level, 1,000-foot overview of the framework, and then you can use those videos to specifically dive into different aspects of the framework. What I have down here on the page are some things that I think that we need to think about specific to 2025, like going into this year, going into like some of the things that we're seeing in business owner land, like what's working and what's not, and what are customers asking for, and just given the overall environment that we're in. I really think that as opposed to years past when we had, these huge coaching programs, for example, I really think we started seeing towards like middle to end of 2024, much more of a focus on getting people results, people wanting deeper relationships with their service providers, coaches, or consultants, or whoever they're hiring. They want deeper relationships versus everything being, DIY and only being able to get support on a call with 50 to 100 other people in a group. Being really results oriented is important. And so, instead of having like vague promises that you're going to have for people, I really think focusing on like specifically, what are we doing for you? What are we going to do for clients? And really figuring out like, how can I deliver on the results that I'm going to promise people? I did videos last year about high ticket offers and the importance of identifying like really tangible, deep client results that you can get for people, because those are the things that people will pay for. And I really think that that is just something that we need to always have a focus on, obviously, but I especially just think in 2025, like people really want to know, how can I be sure I'm going to get results from you? Because I think a lot of people have gotten burned. I know I personally have gotten burned, not just from coaches who were bad over the last few years, but also service providers who didn't follow through with the things that they said they were going to do. I would also say that trust is really important. Building a brand that people really know like what your business is about, and really viewing you as an expert in what you're doing. And just, I think building trust is important in this age where AI is coming into play, where we have all of these people, all this noise out there in the online space. I just really think that like having you as the business owner and positioning your business as something where it's like, we're going to do what we say we're going to do. We're going to build trust. We're going to be constantly working to improve. I just think is really important for 2025. So the second phase of the framework is implementing sustainable growth systems. I've said in the past in other videos, I think business is really a set of systems where that if you put inputs into the business, into the top, into lead gen and sales, take everything through your client delivery systems, out hopefully comes more money than what you put in, right? And this is where the sustainable growth systems come into play. And so the systems I think we really need to have in place boil down into lead gen and sales systems. And so how can you make sure that you are consistently generating leads and making sales so that you reduce some of the cash flow fluctuations that a lot of business owners have when they get stuck in feast or famine cycles. I call it the cash flow hamster wheel, right? Also team systems. So from hiring to training to just ongoing leadership and management, how are you making sure that as your business grows, you're able to bring on team members who can consistently, maintain the quality and the results that you are promising people? This is a question I have having an agency business where, for a long time, I was the only person who really interacted with clients, and it's something that it definitely has taken work, and I won't say that we've gotten it right every single time, but it's something we're working on, is how can I bring more team members on and still have that same personalized, high quality experience that people were used to with me. How can we do that with a team? Because ultimately, I just can't imagine myself for the next 5, 10, 20 years, like being that person who has to maintain every single touch point with clients. You know, I think there's definitely people who enjoy that. There's people out there who want to have a business where they are the face, but I know for me and a lot of my clients, we don't necessarily want to be the face. I have a much bigger view of the impact that I want to have, and for me, like having that big impact means expanding my team members, but doing it in a way where I can make sure that the team members are really able to step into my shoes and still deliver those results. Also, delivery systems kind of goes with that, right? Like making sure that you are able to keep delivering on your offers and your deliverables you're providing to clients in a consistent, high quality way. Money management systems definitely also comes into here. So making sure that as you grow, you're able to keep paying the bills is really, really important. And then I'd also include monitoring. So I'm going to do next week's video is going to be on metrics and how do we monitor and evaluate our businesses in order to make decisions. So thinking about what I'm seeing for 2025, and I'm curious if you guys are seeing some of these similar things, put in the comments if you agree or if you are seeing other things. But for 2025, I really think that long form content, it's not that it went away, but I just think that with all of the stuff that we've seen going on with TikTok, with Instagram and Meta, and Twitter/X, whatever it is, for me personally, I'm tired of seeing the same old short form content over and over again. And I'm probably going more back, at least for business content. I'm focusing more on YouTube videos and podcasts in terms of what I want to consume because I view it as being more high quality. I think that content actually like provides better results and better education than what I'm seeing from a lot of people's short form content. If you don't already have long form content in your business, I always like to recommend that for CEOs, when people get busy and they think about like having to churn out content for Instagram or TikTok or wherever, I actually like to encourage people to focus on long form content first and then use that as your basis for then creating short form content. And you can have your team help you to repurpose long form content into short form content, and you don't have to put as much effort into it. Not that long form content is less effort, but it's not like you're having to do long form and short form everything from scratch all the time. I really also would say that going into 2025, and this has always been true, but I would say for me especially, I'm thinking about how can we just continue to have a lean team. And when I say lean team, I'm not saying like paying them peanuts or trying to overwork them or anything like that, but it's like, how can we structure our offers and delivery model so that we don't have to have a million team members working all the time? Because I think I keep seeing with our CFO level clients, multi-million-dollar clients coming in at late last year. This was a trend I saw with every single one that we brought on, was very high team payroll that was draining cash flow. And it's been something that we've worked on with every single one, is how can we scale back your team? Because it's just not going to be sustainable to keep having a really high payroll, right? Also for me, I'm thinking a lot about AI and automation. So how can I use these tools and be on the forefront of using these tools in my business to help get ahead? Not to necessarily like replace me or my team in terms of working with clients, but to help us augment what we're doing, to help us get things done faster, to help us really like put our brain time into the things that we really need a human touch on, and not spending time on the stuff that can be automated or that we can use AI tools for. I will say, like, I'm not somebody who's really great at like gifting or adding these little personal touches like some people are, but it's something I'm thinking about for 2025, especially as I have my team step in and provide more of the direct support, is how can we continue to add personal touches so that clients don't feel like a number, because I don't want people to ever feel like they're a number. And then also metrics. I mean, metrics have always been something that I have paid attention to, but I am really focusing on communicating to my team, our team KPIs, and helping them see like the impact of their job on the business. And then I'm just making sure that I'm really focusing on the key metrics that impact my business into 2025, because I think that we need to be able to shift and pivot quickly, given like how fast things change in this day and age of business. I think with AI tools becoming ever more prevalent, things are just going to continue to change and shift very quickly. And I think the best way to be able to stay on top of those things is going to be by tracking metrics. So, sustainable growth systems. The third phase of the Wealthy CEO framework is what I would call mindset and money stuff. This is where we really think about embodiment of you as a CEO or business owner. How can you embody the millionaire version of yourself? And how can you show up and be the best leader that you can? And so this really comes down to developing your own leadership, embodying the identity of that millionaire version, including your habits and your behaviors, actually following through and doing the things that you say that you want to do, planning out what you're going to work on, and managing your time better so that you can have more time freedom in your day versus like having your calendar just be chock full of client meetings and work and having no organization. And then of course with the money stuff comes saving and investing and being able to take that profit and put it to work for you versus, never being able to save and invest, not being able to get ahead, not building wealth. Like, we want to focus on the things that will help you increase your net worth. So we think about mindset and money. For me, what's on my mind is building a personal brand and thought leadership. Yes, even if your business, even if you don't want to have your face as the face of your business, I have had the exact same thought. People want to connect with people and not faceless brands. Even if you have a team who helps you deliver the work, how can you as a CEO continue to put yourself out there and show how you walk the walk, right? To show potential clients who you are as the business owner and what your business is about and the impact that you're having and how you embody the results that you are getting other people. And then also we think about money specifically. For me, I'm thinking about risk management and diversification. So a really great example of this is, a couple weeks ago with the TikTok ban, seeing all these people who only sell stuff on TikTok or who only create content on TikTok and that's their only income stream, thinking about what are we going to do? I'm going to have to shut my business down if TikTok shuts down. So I'm bringing this up for me and for clients for 2025 is how can we make sure that we are diversified in terms of where we get leads, where we make sales, making sure that we don't have all of our eggs in one client basket or one lead generation source, because if that goes down, then you're going to be in a world of trouble, right? Okay, so I know that this was a lot, right? Honestly, implementing this overall framework is not something that you are going to be able to do overnight. And I'm not trying to imply that it should be done quickly. I'm not trying to make it seem overwhelming because I do think it's a lot. Because while I think that the framework for a profitable and sustainable business can be super simple, it's not easy. And there's a lot of trial and error that is going to be involved in figuring out exactly how you're going to implement this for your business. I do think though that if you really get hyper focused on doing, one offer, one result, one client, you can go through and implement all of these things in each of these three categories within 3 to 6 months. If you really put your nose down to the grindstone and stay focused, okay? Instead of thinking yourself like, I've got this huge mountain to climb, I'm never gonna get it, I'm just gonna kind of keep winging it and hope that it works out one day. The approach that I take with clients is I like to set 90-day plans. So basically sitting down once a quarter and looking ahead and asking ourselves, okay, how can we make ourselves a little bit better? How can we step toward this goal that we have? Where are the biggest gaps that we have right now in our business? How can I quickly make the most money? What are the things that I can do that will have the biggest impact on my, revenue, profit margins, on my clients, on my team, on me, right? And my energy and my time. What are those most important things? And just focusing on those things. I think this concept of getting 1% better every day is really important. And we're not asking ourselves, how can we be the most perfect version of ourselves starting tomorrow? But we're really asking ourselves, how can I show up and just take a step? How can I take a step every single day that I show up to work so that every week I'm making progress, every month I'm making progress, and then every quarter when I sit down to update my 90-day profit plan, I can see where I checked off things and I made progress and I move forward. That's really what we want to do, because you do this quarter after quarter, give it 2, 3, 4 quarters maybe, you are going to make massive progress. So this is what we do in the High Profit Society with our quarterly planning days. And then for our CFO clients at Young & Co, we also do quarterly one-on-ones at least with our finance suite and CFO clients so that we can talk about these things and make sure that we have a plan for what's going to happen in the next 90 days. So the process for creating these plans at a very high level, I've done videos on this before, and there should be one in the playlist if you're on my YouTube channel that you can watch to dive deeper into this. But first, what we always do is evaluate and assess what happened over the last quarter. How do we make progress against our goals? What worked? What didn't work? Where are the gaps? What do we need to focus on next? Once we evaluate and assess, looking at metrics, looking at our calendars and seeing how we spend our time, then we create a roadmap and say, okay, what are the things that are going to move the needle the most? These are my focus areas, breaking those down into steps that you can then put onto your calendar, and see progress being made every single week. Then you go implement. This is where a lot of that mindset work comes into play, with actually doing the thing that you said you were going to do, which sometimes is easier said than done, right? But we go and implement the roadmap that we laid out, and then we come back around and we evaluate and assess, and we just keep doing it in this circle over and over again. And we keep implementing the framework, starting with making sure you have your strategy, because I think that is your foundation that you need to have in place before you go and build systems on top of that to continue to implement your overall business strategy and hopefully make really good money. And then, of course, you as a CEO working on yourself is the pinnacle, I guess, of what you're working on. Okay. So we implement all of this with 90-day profit plans, and we just get 1% better. So I hope that this gave you some things to think about in terms of what you can do for your business in 2025 in order to grow more sustainably, in order to make more profit so you can pay yourself a paycheck versus delaying being able to see the results from all of your hard work till some point down the road, being actually able to pay yourself a paycheck and be able to start investing and building wealth as a business owner in the here and now in 2025, taking steps towards doing that. So as a reminder, go to my YouTube channel. On the main page, you're going to see a playlist that has videos that are going to walk you through different elements of the framework and the profit planning process. So if there's specific areas that you need to work on, I've got resources for you. And then if you would like some help with figuring out what exactly you need to do next, go to the link in the description underneath the video or in the podcast description and book a free financial health assessment where you are going to answer some questions about your business and your goals. You're going to upload your financial statements. I personally will review it. We can have a one-on-one and talk through exactly what we're seeing. Where do we see areas for improvement? Where do we see opportunities? What are you doing really well? What can you do next in order to hit your goals in 2025? So that's it for today, y'all, and I'll see you next time.